Oh yeah, right, I don't want to do that. I want to go back to Windfall, and, that's, like, not, like, super helpful, but it's also only 5 rupees, so we might as well go for it. So hi, we need to sit here for, like, a minute, so if anyone, like, has a topic, let me know, because I have no clue what to talk about for the next, like, minute as we're going through the auction. Yes, it says only 5 seconds left, so button mashing. How much am I gonna drop on this? Like 150, just to be on the safe side? I think that'll be enough to stun them. Yeah, I did find a mod that changes, like, pronouns too, which is really nice. Yeah, this stuns them for like a solid like 5 to 10 seconds, which is great to end the auction that way. But that was the 5, and it got up to like 150 as our final bid. So yeah, definitely a good thing to have a lot of rupees going into this. But yeah, hello. I feel like I'm not like great at streaming, because I'm like, hi, hello, welcome. Every like 10 seconds, because that's like my way of filling time. Yeah, I think the edgy Zelda game was a direct course correction, quote-unquote, which is so funny in hindsight, because, like, Wind Waker, I almost feel is better remembered than Twilight Princess nowadays. Obviously, that's a way to start a fan war right there, but in general, I do think the overall preference leans Wind Waker to Twilight Princess at the moment. Twilight Princess is a game that needs like a full remake, kind of like Metroid Prime Remastered, to be good looking, I think, and for a game like that, that'd be so much work. Metroid Prime, that's a pretty linear game, so I almost feel like it's not that big of a deal, doing a total overhaul to everything, but for like Twilight Princess, that'd be a long game to do a full remake of. But I almost think it actually needs that, in a way. Wind Waker HD is greater than Twilight Princess. I'd say original Wind Waker is better than Twilight Princess, but that just might be a hot take on my part. But again, I have nostalgic bias on my side. I grew up with this game. It's like I still swear by Phantom Hourglass because that was like one of my first 2D Zeldas, and I still swear by Minish Cap because that was one of my first 2D Zeldas. Yeah, it's so funny they flipped it to make it right-handed, though it still is weird to me they never made Breath of the Wild Link left-handed. I genuinely wonder if it's a case of they were going to do something with motion controls on like the Wii U version, but then once they switched over to the Switch, they decided to get rid of that, because like why else is that Link right-handed? Because it doesn't really make sense when every other Link is basically left-handed except the one where they literally have to flip the entire game to make him right-handed. Yeah, it's like really frustrating because there's like no left-handed characters, so like making Breath of the Wild Link right-handed feels like really like a weird choice. Because I know, like, for example, when he was involved in the franchise, Shigeru Miyamoto made a huge deal out of it. Like, specifically wanting to make Link left-handed, so it's a bummer not having that be the case. My favorite Mario game is probably Galaxy. Yes, Galaxy and not Galaxy 2, just because bias towards Rosalina. Alright, so new helper. We already cleared the path, so all we'll have to do is leave and come back. There we go. So his letter is a wallet. That's actually very good. Do I have an option for that? I do. Alright. Little nervous about this, because I don't remember the last time I've done this with, like, starting magic. So I might fall on my face spectacularly here. Is it actually going the right direction already? It is. So we might as well just try to fly. Alright, so far so good. Restock on magic here. Hope the Kargarok doesn't give us too much trouble. Actually, I think we need feathers for a quest later on. I'm in kind of focus mode here. I don't want to botch this, because then it takes forever to get back up here. Case in point, I almost just got shoved off the ledge. That would have been very bad. Alright, mild fear, but it all worked out. One thing I really like about randomizers, like specifically, oh, that's good. Specifically for Zelda, it basically gives you a better understanding of the games because you basically have to learn things you might not know about them. Like, you have to figure out all the item placements. So it gives you a deeper understanding of all these games. So that is something I really find appealing about the concept of these randomizers. Others not so much, I think. You know, like Sonic Adventure 2 randos, like, funny, but I almost feel like it doesn't really give you any skills beyond, like, maybe having to do weird tricks with specific characters. But with Zelda games, especially, the randomizers kind of force you to have to learn things about how the games actually operate in a way that's very cool. It gives you, like, a deeper understanding of them. Alright, so we'll learn this song. You've done Token Sanity. Oh no. See, I don't know Ocarina. That just sounds like hell to me, because I'm like... I think I could do like a non... like, Key Sanity or Skull Sanity for that. But I definitely don't think I could actually do a Gold Skulltula rando. Just because I don't remember where they are at all, and beyond like the first dungeon or something. The dungeon ones are easier to remember. It's mostly just the Also, why do we keep pressing up on the D-pad so much? I keep thinking up on the D-pad is menu, and I'm trying to think what game have I played recently that put a menu on up on the D-pad. I don't think it was Control. I think it was the map and Control. So yeah, I'm really drawing a blank on why I keep pressing the D-pad for that. So we have a combat arena. I'm going into this with way less health than I probably should. But we'll have to see how this goes. This shouldn't be too bad, actually. This one's not terrible. See, like, this randomizer is really interesting because we've gotten some good stuff, but we're also missing, like, a lot. Like, it's good to have the Triforce pieces that we have. It's good to have, like, the Deku Leaf, obviously. But it's like, I really want the grappling hook, because that opens up a lot. But I also don't want the grappling hook, because it opens up a lot. It's a weird mix, because on one hand, it's nice being able to have a lot of options. On the other hand, it's just pain, because you have too many options. It's like when the whole world is open and up to you, basically. It can actually be kind of overwhelming. And I almost feel like the grappling hook is a really rare example of that in this series, because I can't think of many other Zelda games to have an item that would open up that many, like, checks as, like, the grappling hook in this one, because you have all the grappling points, obviously. You have everything involving sunken treasures, and that's like 40 plus. That's gotta be like over 50 checks just off the grappling hook. And yeah, everything within dungeons too. Okay, now we're talking. This is good, I think. Boomerang! Moxspire Island. Got another Triforce chart, so that is definitely worthwhile. We could actually check a little bit of Dragon Roost. I think we will. Pokemon randomizers and, by extension, Nuzlocks kind of scare me. Partly because I'm not that good at Pokemon. Like, everyone talks about, like, oh, Pokemon games are so easy unless you do a Nuzlocke, and now I'm over here, like, I'm struggling against, like, a lot of these trainer fights. So I think I'm just bad at Pokemon. See, that's the other problem with, like, a Nuzlocke to me, is I play RPGs with a lot of level grinding, so the inherent problem is how interesting would it be if I just level up? But yeah, we're just gonna go through this kind of, you know, vanilla for now, so I'm just gonna talk about whatever I think. Alright, so we got another key. Again, there's like key sanity too. I don't want to even think about that. Like, getting all the keys you need, that just sounds like hell, personally. I'm just gonna do this. Or just yeet it off the ledge, that works too. Is there a Minish Cap randomizer? I was actually asking about that earlier, like, does that exist already? Because that would be of interest to me if it does. Because Minish Cap was like one of my first 2D Zeldas, so I would be curious of trying that out at some point. Again, I want to do some 2D randomizers too. Again, I don't want to do a race, I've never done it before. Well, at least for my first playthrough of it. I also need to refresh on the actual game. I don't remember Minish Cap very well. We have 4 out of 5 statues, for the record. That's wild to me. Now we have, like, almost the entire statue collection. The statues have to be an important check, right? Because why else would we get all the statues here? Yeah, there's gotta be something going on to make the dithering worse in this area. I don't even know if it's dithering in the traditional sense. Or if it's just like a weird GameCube effect. Alright, so, what does that mean for us? It means we're stuck, actually. The other key must be in the chest across from the lava. So that means we're actually soft-locked here. Not soft-locked, this is just faster to just quit out, basically. First room, water, boarded up chest, got that. There's 2 in the rack room? Because it says rack room and rack room boarded up chest. Did I get that? That was like literally 2 seconds ago, and I already forgot if I did that. Like, I am not here today. So yeah, we need 20 more after this. Alright, so we kinda just went a loop there. Went back to this. I want to do a randomizer of something, but I don't know what. The thing is, there's like a randomizer for everything. So, like, if you have a particular game that's like your favorite game or something, there's a very high chance that it might have a randomizer, or just a series. Well, that's boring. We just actually got the town flower. I'm confused. It says that's a check, but is that just vanilla? I think that's just vanilla. Weird. I'm trying to think of other games I'd want to do randomizers for. The problem is I own a lot of games on console. So, like, I was about to say Tunic, but I own that on, like, Switch. So I can't randomize that version, and I don't really want to pay another 30 bucks for it. As much as I do, like, heavily vouch for Tunic. It's hard to justify owning 3 copies of this game. I say as I have, like, 3 copies of Celeste. No, 4 copies of Celeste, technically. I have a digital copy on Switch and 2 physical copies on Switch, and also the PC version, because it was in a Humble Bundle, and I wanted... Well, it was like the same... It was a GDQ bundle, and it was like the same price as like Bloodstained anyway. So I was like, I'm just gonna get this bundle. It's like, if you ever wondered if I am trans or not, well, there's your answer. I have 4 copies of Celeste. Not that that's prerequisite, obviously, but I just know that Celeste is one of those games that tends to get mentioned as, like, you know, trans femme game. You have 4 copies of Shovel Knight and 3 of Cave Story. That's fair. I need to play Cave Story again. I've never done the true ending. Because that is a hard final section of the game. Another fun story, I almost thought about streaming Shovel Knight today. The reason was, I have owned Shovel Knight on Switch since launch day. But, however, I only ever played the Shovel Knight campaign. I never did the other 3. To get a whole new console to be able to play Iconoclasts again. See, I need to play Iconoclasts, period. That's been on my list of games I want to try for a while, but I just never got around to it. I think I went through Metroidvania fatigue for a while. Like, I like Metroidvanias, but I played so many of them that I just kind of burnt out at a point. So now it's been forever since I played Metroidvania, and I'm like, maybe I should. You can skip Plague of Shadows. That was the one I was thinking about playing, because it's like, you know, October. It'd be like seasonally appropriate. So yeah, I haven't played any of them. I'd go in order, and I think Plague is up first, so hey! The good thing about that is, I have nothing else to compare it to, so it'll be fine. Probably. First try. Nice. And the second- I would've gotten a second try if I had staggered that shot just slightly. All I know is there's like triple triad in King of Cards, and that alone is like both fascinating and terrifying at the same time. And I say this as someone who's never played Final Fantasy VIII. I want to play it though. I have it on like PS4, I think. So maybe I want to stream Final Fantasies. That's a stupid idea because these are like long-ass RPGs. But I want to stream Final Fantasy at some point. We got a fancy treasure chest. You're not supposed to be here. This is Din's Pearl. I'm a firm advocate of more games having optional card games. Yeah, same. Also fishing. Like, if your game has fishing, it automatically, like, goes up a point. Speaking of which, how's web fishing? I keep hearing about web fishing, and it's like, it feels like it might be up my alley. I will consider it, though. It's very Animal Crossing core in a way that I really like, so... It's like scratching an itch, basically. One problem with replacing the sail with the Swift sail is it makes it so you don't have a regular sail, and thus you can't go slowly if you want to. That's like the one drawback of this mod. Shovel of Hope might be your least favorite. That's also fair because it was like the first, so... It almost feels like later on they would have done more to like spice it up. It's kind of like how in, you know, Mega Man, for example, I personally find playing as anyone except Mega Man more interesting just because they always do more with the other characters. Like, you know, Bass and Mega Man 9. I say, having never played Mega Man 9, but you know what I mean, like... To diversify the playstyles of characters, they have to, Wait, what is getting a deluxe edition? Oh, Shovel Knight, gotcha. I forgot that existed. My brain, as far as Yacht Club is concerned, is entirely focused on Mina, the Hollower. If I'm being blunt, I kind of don't care about Shovel of Hope Remastered or whatever it is. They don't even put this on the tracker. That doesn't surprise me, to be honest, because it's like not helpful for anything. Yeah, it's just a case of like the character movement is like more interesting. It's also how I feel about Sonic, actually. Like, to be totally honest, Sonic is like the least fun character to play in Sonic games, in my opinion. If we're counting 2D specifically, I need to specify that. Basically, in 2D Sonic games, I just feel like every other character is more interesting, from one way or another. For example, with Tails, obviously you can fly. With Knuckles, he can glide and climb walls, but he also has a lower jump, which actually kind of makes it a hard mode in a way, because certain bosses are just like slightly too high up. So, I do find Knuckles to be very interesting, while also being very frustrating to actually play well in classic Sonic games. But Sonic being, like, the baseline, he just kind of ends up being there. He just kind of ends up being alright, I guess, so... He almost just doesn't stand out in any way in particular compared to the others. At least that's kind of my take on it. 3D is obviously a very different story because of just how much they've spiced up character movesets in the 3D games. But yeah, for 2D, yeah, Sonic's just kind of the basic, you know, jack of all trades, master of none kind of character. I feel like if Tails were the main character, something he'd be significantly faster instead. Just the baseline guy. That's true as well. He probably is faster, to be frank, but I just never noticed, to be honest, because I don't pay that much attention, unfortunately. I can't decide if I'm doing well or not in this randomizer, because, like, we're technically getting a lot of items, but we're also, like, not getting anything that important, and we've only done, like, a tiny bit of a dungeon, and then left, because we couldn't do anything else. So it's like, it's a kind of a mixed seed so far. Like, both, we're doing surprisingly well in some ways, but also making very little actual forward momentum in others. Also, like, playstyles matter too, like, you know, Mighty the Armadillo basically just has, like, a stomp attack, and that's basically his only differentiation. Meanwhile, Ray basically is the Cape Feather from Mario World. So, both also have, like, interesting inversions on, like, classic gameplay. But again, it does kind of come down to, Sonic being the baseline, so he kind of just ends up being the standard character. Which, again, isn't a bad thing inherently, but he just ends up being a little bit less like flashy or, you know, unique compared to others. Oh, yeah, Mighty also has spike immunity, which is very good in classic Sonic, where spikes are a pain in the ass in both literal and metaphorical terms. That could have gone better. I should have gone like a little bit angled, not straight on, but it's okay. I'm kind of weird about Metaphor. I'm like, I think I would enjoy it, but I also don't really want to spend money on it. 2 reasons. One, I don't have the energy right now for an Atlas RPG. I really don't. I haven't even played Reload, because I just don't want to play a big-ass RPG right now. That sounds like a great way to burn out on gaming. I've just been playing short games. Like, my game clearing list is a lot of fighting games at the moment, because they're short. You can beat them in like 40 minutes. The other reason I'm not really jazzed about Metaphor is just I don't trust Atlas to not do a special edition or like a director's cut like a year later. So I'm just gonna wait and see if they do a director's cut or something. By then it'll be like 20 bucks anyway, so if they don't, it'll be cheaper at least. So, like, I love Persona 5. Persona 5 is genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. I did not enjoy playing it twice. Like, to be totally honest, playing it twice, essentially, was miserable. Weirdly enough, this is somehow the second time I've talked to someone about this. But basically, like, even beyond just, you know, Palace 5, which is like the go-to. Is it 5? I think it's 5 that everyone complains about, making that they made it worse than Royal. But just playing through a long-ass game twice is just draining. It's like, this is a lot of time I could have been spending playing a different RPG. And I definitely should have played a different RPG instead of Royal. I should have just watched the cutscenes again, or the new stuff. But in the end, it was worth it, because let's be real, Yoshizawa is one of my favorite characters, like, ever. So ultimately, I did come out of Royal thinking it's one of my favorite games. But I would have preferred if I had just played Royal first, and never even bothered with the base game. Like, that's where I was going with this. It's like, if I had only played Royal, I would feel a lot better about it, and even then, it's like 9.5 out of 10 material. Can't stomach a second playthrough, yeah, that's fair. And again, it's just a case of like, if they keep doing this, they say they're not, but I don't trust them. We just got SMT Vengeance, and like, everyone says it fixes everything wrong with SMT 5. So it's like, they're saying, like, oh, we're not gonna do this anymore, and then just immediately do it with, like, SMT 5. So, like, with Metaphor, I'm, like, waiting for Metaphor, like, re-Fantasia or something. Like, I don't know what the hell they'd call it, but, like, I'd rather just see if they do that again. I don't even know if they will do that again, but just, you know, I'd rather not burn myself out playing this game, and just enjoy the complete version whenever the hell it happens. Royal especially felt like really bad to me because of them re-releasing it, and then also not adding in PS5 upgrading. So like, I have the special edition of Royal for PS4, I can't upgrade it, so I'd have to buy I'd have to buy the game a third time to play it at 60 FPS, and that's just stupid in my opinion. I love Persona 5 Royal. I would not want to pay another, like, 20 bucks for it, even though it isn't even full price anymore. You end up shelving Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, the problem with, like, Baldur's Gate isn't it, like, 150 gigs? It's on, like, multiple discs on console. It's absurd. And, like, the weird thing about Baldur's Gate is it doesn't even matter, because if you play a fraction of the game, you still technically get your money's worth, because like, a lot of people were like, I played Act 1 and called it there, and that's still like valid in terms of like paying 60 bucks for it. I mean, there are people who are like, yeah, I paid 60 bucks for this game, only got to like start of Act 2 and then shelved it. And even then people are like, yeah, no, that took long enough that it was still worth the money. It's like, I I mean, I can't do Baldur's Gate anyway because of spiders and gore, but even if I could tolerate both aspects more, my main interest in Baldur's Gate is actually the character creator, because of course it is. You smushed the buff demon lady and beat up J.K. Simmons, you're good for now? That's valid. Yeah, Act 3 takes a nosedive because, like, I think it's not as bad of a nosedive because they did clean it up, but it's the early access problem. Everything in Act 1 was essentially playtested to hell and back because, what am I doing? Everything in Act 1 was basically playtested to hell and back because of the early access period. So then, like, Act 3 comes out and it's like, yeah, this is the part that basically hasn't been playtested for 4 years now. So, like, Act 1 is super refined because they had all this player feedback for years. And then Act 2 comes out and, or, like, Act 2 is, like, alright, and then Act 3 is not the best. Which is almost why I have to give massive props to Hades, because, like, Hades is a game that, like, everyone loves. Like, it was early access, but when it came out, everything about the game was just, like, people raved about it. And, like, Hades is a case of even the late game stuff that would have been, like, near the tail end of early access, it was still super polished from what I gather, not that I've played Hades. Hades is on the list, maybe I'll start that soon. Because I own it on Switch physical, actually. But I keep putting it off, because I've been wanting to stream for a long time, to the point where I kept being like, I want to stream Hades, so I'm gonna put it off, so it can go in relatively inexperienced. But that just led to a problem of, I never played Hades. I know nothing about her, but I'm sure in a game based on Greek mythology, there's totally nothing bad going on there. But we support women's wrongs in this household. Hey, remember when I said this? I actually don't think I said this, but I meant for this to be a short stream, by the way, and I'm almost at 2 hours. And I was one of the good guys? Oh, good. I feel like a lot of times with Hades, it's just kind of like, oh, that character's pretty, oh wait, they're also evil. Like, that happens quite a bit for me. When I just, like, look and just, like, soul read a character. It's like, oh, they were the prettiest character. Also, they're, like, super messed up. But again, women's wrongs.